Welcome, and thank you for joining Zonta International and the International Advocacy Committee for this important conversation about women and climate change.
It's a pleasure to join this panel this evening and have the opportunity of sharing what we're doing in District 23 in Australia with Zonta Says NOW. We see that we're on a runaway train. We have runaway greenhouse gas emissions that are causing nearly runaway global warming. And this is triggering extreme weather events that causes societal disruption that magnifies existing inequalities. The gains in gender equality we have made in the last 100 years in Zonta are at risk. Zonta International has taken the first step by raising the issue through the release of the Statement on Climate Change. In District 23, we had a bit of a head start and developed Zonta Says NOW with a mission to create a gender-equal, sustainable world. We believe we can go a long way to achieving this by educating girls, advocating for women's rights, and inspiring more female leaders. Let me explain. Next slide, please. We educate girls because girls who are educated have more life choices. They are more likely to be healthy, informed, and active in their communities. As we've heard today, our Zonta International programs are making a big difference to many young lives. But girls with 12 years of education may also have up to 5 fewer children, meaning 1 billion fewer people on the planet this century. So what do we do about educating girls? For us, we can achieve most by donating to the Zonta Foundation for Women's Endowment Fund, so we can sustainably double or treble our work to educate girls and end child marriage. When it comes to advocating for women's rights, this means ramping up all of our existing advocacy programs. It means working to close gender gaps in pay and superannuation, and asking politicians to debate climate in Parliament. This is a big thing in Australia. It means working with men to stop violence before it begins. It means learning from our Indigenous people who are the custodians of the land, and engaging with local councils to make sure communities are sustainable and resilient. So what do we do to add our voice to advocate? While think tank members take local action, some are now climate resilience and are on climate resilience and sustainability consultation groups with their local councils. Some recycle bottles to raise funds for their local refuges. Others have joined a national mail-out campaign to get climate debated in the Australian Parliament. Our third group of actions is around inspiring more female leaders. Did you know that 4 of the 5 countries leading the way in climate response are led by women and have more than 40% women parliamentarians? The countries are Norway, New Zealand, Finland, and Sweden. Leadership starts with speaking up and speaking out and seizing opportunities in our careers and communities. Whether it's leading a team in Zonta or leading a country, we can all play our part. What do? We promote the Zonta Leadership Programme and support each other to take on leadership roles. We also support and promote all of Zonta's awards as they encourage future leaders in science, business, technology, and public policy. Our club had a Women in Science night with 4 female coral scientists from our local museum, explaining their role in monitoring coral reefs. Another club in the district had a fundraiser with Natalie Isaacs, the CEO of 1 Million Women, and the funds were used for an award that recognises a local female climate leader. As my hero, Cristiana Figueres, puts it, when there are more women in the boardrooms and in high-level positions in institutions, you get decisions that are wiser and longer term. Next slide, please. So what is the how of Zonta Says Now? To achieve our mission, we set up a think tank of Zontians in District 23. We meet online every 2 months and across 3 time zones. We're a big district. Our Zonta International liaison, Florence Fischer-Herber, often joins our meetings from Luxembourg, so we have 4 time zones when she joins us. Our think tank has over 60 Zontians, and together we created the Zonta Says Now website that's full of useful resources. It reflects our own personal journeys and contains leaflets that we've developed that include how we champion a sustainable gender equal world, our 5 R's guide, that stands for reduce, reuse, recycle, rethink and repair, and how we apply the 5 R's in the simple sustainability principles that we've developed for clubs and individuals. We also look at finance and explain why climate risk is investment risk and what climate exchange traded funds are. Our 2 monthly newsletters are now themed, and recent editions have focused on women and the law, the digital gender divide, the inspiring actions of young people and the school strikes, and the last one was about climate resilience. We've posts that highlight current reports and issues, and the website is full of links to books, videos, and other organisations that have useful information. The website's always changing, and think tank members are always sending through new information about issues locally, nationally, and globally. Our think tank meetings have PowerPoint agendas with lots of photos, and after the meetings, we add feature boxes to the PowerPoint to identify actions from the meeting. Everything is on the website. There are no secrets. All information is designed to be read online with loads of suggestions for action. The information is sorted around our 5-step framework for action. Next slide, please. Number 1, we gather the facts. We learn about climate change, inequality, and what we can do about it. Number 2, we reduce our own emissions to minimise our environmental footprint. Number 3, we add our voice. Once we've got the knowledge about climate change and we're actually reducing our own emissions, we can use that experience to talk to our family and friends and co-workers. The biggest thing you can do for the climate is talk about it. We advocating is number 4, and we advocate in our clubs on projects that say yes to gender equality, no to violence against women, and now to climate action. We share our concerns with those people that can do something about it. And number 5, we collaborate. We magnify our voice by collaborating with like-minded organisations. That's other Zonta clubs, Z clubs, Golden Z clubs, UN Women's When Will She Be Right campaign, as well as 1 Million Women, Plastic Free July, which is actually all year round, and our Australian Climate Council, as well as other community groups. There are so many organisations out there that we can work with to spread the word. Next slide, please. Zonta Says Now grew from a passionate discussion between myself, our District 23 Governor, Sandra Burns, and our District 23 Centurion, Judy Gorton. We could see that Zonta needed to ramp up all of its activities to minimise the impact that climate disruption will have on women and girls. As a speaker at our district conference this weekend put it, if we don't stop the planet from burning, we can forget about gender equity. We've just started on our journey and are learning by doing. We have a wonderful depth of talent in our think tank and are focusing on how best to harness it. Together, we can stop greenhouse gas emissions, slow down this runaway train, and create a gender equal, sustainable world. But our time is running out. We are in a decisive decade, which is why Zonta says now to gender equality and climate action. Thank you very much.